Alright, so this video wasn't going to have my darling face in it, but it ended up having it because I wanted to quickly do a little update about Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. If you're looking forward to me buying it and streaming it or maybe reviewing it, let me know. Let me know if that excites you. If they release that tomorrow like they say they're going to, do I get it and stream it? Or do I get it and make a review? Do you want me to do both? I'm personally sort of confused as to why Activision's doing this whole, hey, we remastered a third of a Call of Duty game for you guys. Here's 24 hours notice. Like, I feel like they're using the leaks to hype up their game, but not doing the actual marketing to hype up the game themselves. It's very weird. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I enjoyed recording it. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. See you when I see you. Call of Duty is a lot less about what's going on in your hands or on your screen. It's a lot more about what's going on in your head. Call of Duty, in my experience, is an attitude game. Call of Duty is all about your perspective on your losses and wins and managing your own expectations for yourself and the rest of the game. What I am about to talk about is the basis for why I dislike the conversation surrounding skill-based matchmaking or aim assist versus keyboard and mouse. Because at the end of the day, our perceptions, experiences, expectations, and attitude will define our play sessions. Believe me, I'm no fan of pseudoscience. I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain your mentality and spirituality when trying to win in a video game and why you're not winning in a video game. Hell no, that's not my expertise, that's not my thing, I don't talk about that. I'm talking about my experience, I'm talking about how I view Call of Duty, and I wanna see if you guys can relate to it and understand where I'm coming from. I'll tell a story I've told maybe twice on this channel in the last 5 years, where I was playing Modern Warfare 2 by myself and I decided to play free-for-all. I wanted to play free-for-all because back in the day there was such rivalry in free-for-all, there was such banter and trash talk. Of course everybody had their mics in, and so it was great. You'd kill somebody and you would immediately hear their reaction. We're gonna come back to that, but sticking with the story, I played 10 matches of free-for-all with roughly the same lobby, at least the top 3 players were in that lobby the entire time, with some people coming in and out throughout each game. I played 10 games, and in 9 of them, I was towards the bottom of the board, and I sort of became the running joke in those matches. Whereas usually I would feel frustrated, I had this thought to reserve myself so that I might win later. Match number 10 rolled around on a state, and my god, I cleaned house. My exact KD is a little bit foggy, but I believe I went 30-7, which is pretty good in free-for-all, at least by my standards. Normally, I probably would have gotten pissed way sooner, but I don't know, I felt like if I got pissed on like match 2 or 3, I wouldn't win my next match. I wouldn't win match 4 or 5 or 6. The reason I tell this story is not because I lost 3 games and then won a bunch of games. I lost 9 games and only won 1 game, but it stuck in my head because I would not have won that game. I would not have been able to clean house on players that were much more proficient than me if I hadn't been reserving my frustration. After 9 matches of them hooping and hollering and yelling and trash talking, they had worn themselves out, while I remained reserved. They were clearly burnt, fatigued, or just didn't like a state. I don't exactly remember, they might have said something in game chat about not liking that map, but I did well, and I didn't abuse anything to do it. I didn't run noob tubes or anything like that. I was running the TAR with the Mars sight, I'm pretty sure. That's what I remember using, but that could be a false memory. I just know that I wasn't cheesing anyone. Their attitude, their hype carried them through those 9 matches, always getting top 3, always getting top 4, always doing better than me and better than anyone else that rotated in and out of that lobby. Their momentum carried them. Then they wore themselves out. Instead of taking a break, they decided to go for 10 matches of free-for-all. This was a pretty long play session. I controlled my emotions to the point where I could beat players that were clearly fucking better than me. But I said I'd go back to the game chat conversation, and yes, the game chat has a big part in this. Because this enforced my idea that Call of Duty is an attitude game. I know this when I private match my friends. Being able to hear somebody that you are frustrating, hearing them go, damn it, or what the fuck, or how could you do that, or where were you? That sort of frustration from your opponent is sort of, at least for me, and maybe this is just creepy, it's fueling to me. It definitely gets me hyped, it gets me excited. I can definitely hear the person behind the screen that I'm beating. It reminds me that I'm not fighting a video game, I'm fighting a person. Knowing that my actions are affecting a real person, and then knowing that my proficiency is frustrating them, is certainly a boost of morale to myself. On the flip side, when my friends are on my team and we're getting our asses kicked, hearing their disgruntled, this sucks, there's, the bitching that you and your friends do when you're losing a game. Don't pretend you don't do it, don't pretend it doesn't happen. That can be really demoralizing. The teams that are kicking your ass consistently, the full clans that kick your ass, are doing callouts, they're joking around, they're keeping it light, they're not stressing, they're not full of anger, because anger really does cloud your judgment. Being angry usually tightens your focus. In a lot of ways it can be helpful, at least in certain situations. But anger in a big 6v6 game, or even a bigger 64 player game, it's really going to screw you up because you're not going to be able to take in the entire game. You're not going to be able to take in every situation. You're not going to be able to react and adapt to multiple things happening at once. The way I've always seen anger, and I have done a little bit of research to back this up, anger sort of narrows your view. And okay, that can be good. But when you narrow your view, you lose sight of a lot of your peripheral. And I mean that literally and metaphorically. One thing you can do is channel your anger into a conscious decision to not let the enemy team win. And if you understand that the enemy has a much higher chance of winning if you're tilted and pissed, then you might be able to turn that anger into a smug, confident, reassured state. Alright, so I have two more things to talk about and then I'll wrap this commentary up. First things first. I don't think you should have to use Call of Duty or any shooter that you're playing, any video game that you're playing. You should not have to use that as a way to work on yourself personally, because sometimes it's healthy to just bitch. And what I mean by that is when you're at work, right? And work gets frustrating. You're at school. School gets frustrating. You're with your family, and your family gets frustrating. You're working on a project for your personal life. I don't know, you're fixing your front door. I don't know. That can get frustrating. And in those scenarios, you're not going to throw a fit. You're not going to, bitch and moan when your boss says, can you do this for me? You're not going to go, I hate doing that, everything, You're not going to be that person. It's not socially acceptable, and for good reason. It shows a lack of maturity on your part, and sometimes a video game, like Call of Duty, can be a really good way to release that. The frustration that you're dealing with, you're alone in the privacy of your living room or your bedroom. You're looking at something that's just really, when you look at Call of Duty or any video game, it's a set of problems. Problems that can be frustrating and problems that you can vent through. They're an outlet. So instead of, biting your tongue and keeping your head down and doing your job like you do at your work or at school or in awkward social situations, you can say all of the racist shit you want. You can let out all of your frustrations and angers. I don't support bigotry, but you can be yourself, or at least a slightly more unhinged version of yourself. Instead of being, a man's man, you can be a whiny man that doesn't know why your bullets aren't killing the bad guy. And that's okay. So I don't want to sound like I'm judging you if you get mad at video games. If you guys have watched my streams, you know that'd be the most hypocritical shit you've ever seen. But if you're serious about winning, if you're serious about doing well, if you're serious about beating somebody, control all of that anger, all of that frustration. Loosen up, laugh at it, laugh at yourself, laugh at your friends, laugh with your friends. Be a little bit better than the situation if you want to be more proficient. Recently, I've been doing this thing where I only play Modern Warfare when I'm in the mood to play Modern Warfare. So sometimes that shrinks my play sessions down. Instead of grinding for 3, 4, 5 hours until I'm miserable, I'll play a nice hour and get good games and have fun and not want to kill myself afterwards, because otherwise I will play until I hate the game. I play until I don't want to play, and then I either private match and goof around, or I go play a different video game. I'll take multiple day breaks for Modern Warfare, and then I'll kind of crave it, and then I'll come back, and that really helps. And that's what you're seeing in this gameplay, and this is the second topic I wanted to mention. This gameplay was me in a good mood. This gameplay was me doing well that day, having fun, and experimenting with different weapons that I hadn't been using that much. Now, the EBR-14 is one of my most used weapons, but usually just in ground war, but I actually made it work in this gameplay. I hope you've noticed. It's not too shabby. I kind of pat myself on the back a little bit for this, because the EBR-14, while a solid gun, it's no M4, it's no MP5, it's no AK-47, it's no FAL, it's no M13 even. I think all of those guns are more customizable, more versatile, and a lot more competitively viable than the EBR-14, but yet here I am, doing the best I can. And that's what I want to end this video on, and that is do your best. And that's really a reassuring statement, do your best. Your best might not be as good as your friends, or the enemies, or some pro player you look up to, but it's your best. Do what you want to do. Run the weapon you want to run. adapt to the situations around you in ways that only you can. If you feel more comfortable sitting in a corner with 2 claymores and a shotgun, I hate you, but go for it. Do what makes you happy. Play the way you want to play. Use the weapon you want to use. Do what you want to do. In any of your video games, don't mindlessly try to replicate your favorite streamers or YouTubers. When it comes to you expressing yourself through a video game, it's one of those rare cases in life where you can say, fuck my haters, I'm gonna play however I want to play. If you get your satisfaction from challenging yourself with hard weapons or trolling people or just playing like an asshole, go for it. Now, there might be repercussions. I'm not gonna say everyone's gonna love you and that it's super cool that you're doing that, but the key to a good attitude is being yourself and playing the way you want to play. It doesn't mean people won't give you shit, don't be a baby about it, but yeah, lower that difficulty, use that weapon, don't chase the S rating, do something that makes you happy, that alleviates stress and doesn't add it on to your life. Unless you're motivated by that challenging stress, then I would say absolutely fucking go for it. If that motivates you, if that gets you out of bed, if that gets you to play better and do better and feel better, then hell yeah, go for it. But be honest with yourself. So that might have sounded like it was dragged out, but that was all the things I wanted to say. And yeah, fit nicely in a nice little 10-minute, 30-second video. I hope you all enjoyed this commentary. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you got something out of this. If you have something to share with the comment section that can maybe help other people, that's great. This has been Call of Duty as an Attitude Game, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.